Very good morning to one and all present here. We in this session will understand about what is managerial communication, what are the types of managerial communication, how the process of managerial communication happens, and why it is much important for a business. So, all of us have the understanding without communication, the world does not move to the next. Each one of us are involved in the process of communication. Whether we belong to the organization, or we are in our social life, or with our very close parent circle, we need to have good communication which will have the purpose solved. So, we take an understanding that communication is a vital process and all of us move ahead with effective communication. So, trying to understand what is managerial communication in the definition part, we could say that we are managers in an organization. We'll have different levels of people and from different geographical location. They are being assigned or they are being delegated a particular work. In that situation, it is essential the manager he has to communicate with the employees in the organization or within the organization and also outside also of the organization to accomplish the goal. So, managerial communication is a function which helps the managers communicate with each other as well as with employees within the organization. Only when there is proper communication, it ensures the smooth flow of information from managers working towards a common goal. Yes, all the organization will have a goal and all the organization will have the process of organizing themselves. Departmentalization will happen over there. There will be different departments which are accomplishing their individual goal. Together they will achieve the common goal. In that perspective, it is much important the communication that happens within themselves and within each other. In that aspect, the types of managerial communication are interpersonal communication and organizational communication. Interpersonal communication, as the word indicates, is generally take place between two or more individuals at a workplace. This is very normal process. We are not independent anywhere. We are always dependent, whether it is the society or at our home or at the workplace. We need to communicate with each other. When our communication happens between one or two more individuals who are working in the same organization, then it is interpersonal communication. When the communication is taking place at all levels in the organization, it refers to organizational communication. Our understanding always lies that there are three levels of management or three levels in an organization, which is top level, middle level, and lower level. When there is in communication to accomplish the common goal, then it is termed as organizational communication. So, organizational communication broadly refer to communications and interactions among employees or members of the organization. The formal communication efforts of the organization, it all talks about the products and the services. It is always about the particular goal of the organization. When such communication takes place, then it is termed as organizational communication. And interpersonal communication, it's all about information, feeling, and meaning through verbal or non-verbal communication. It usually happens when we enter into the workplace, we say good morning to all levels of employees who are working together. And if there is some incident that happens, we automatically respond to it. We talk to them. Are you feeling very tired? Did you have your breakfast? These are some common communications. And this, when it happens among the employees who work together, then it is termed as interpersonal communication. So it's very interesting to note about that is a process that happens in each and every communication. So apart from the text of managerial communication, when we see the word communication, our brain activates, it coins some words or phrases or sentences to express the feeling or the emotion or the message that have to be conveyed to the next person. So there is a process that occurs in each and every communication, whether it is verbal or non-verbal. So in the general platform, we can see that there is always a sender and there is always a receiver. And only the main aspect of communication is message. And there are channels which carry the message to the receiver. And when the sender and the receiver acknowledges that they have received the message, it becomes feedback. So the sender is the person initiating the communication or broadcasting the message. And message actually is the set of words, gestures, emotions, and images that the sender uses to convey what he or she wants to say. And the channel through which the message moves, maybe through verbal or written or non-verbal, or it is through some technology, the channel which carries the message to the receiver. The receiver may be the audience from whom the receiver often expects a response. So this is the whole process. When the response from the receiver to the sender is given, it is called feedback. When all these occurs sequentially and confidentially, or sometimes with confidence, then it is termed as communication process. So what actually happens in the communication process is there will be always a sender and a receiver, and there will be a message, and it will be ensured that the message or the process of communication is over only when there is a feedback. So it is a sender talks something, it is understood by the receiver in the same word. That interference is called as, from the sender it is decoding, and from the receiver it is encoding. So this encoding and decoding happens in both sides of the sender as well as the receiver for the complete process of communication. So in the context of business, in the context of management, communication is much more important. Without communication, management is not at all possible. For all the functions of management, from forecasting, planning, organizing, instructing, coordinating, and controlling, requires exact and correct communication. Only when there is effective communication, all the jobs of the organization are being well coordinated. So importance of communication can be seen in another angle, like it establishes effective leadership. Every time it is being assigned to the manager, a goal is being assigned. All the organization frameworks, their vision and mission, And each vision and mission is together carried out by various departments of the organization. And the managers, the heads, becomes highly responsible. So this communication helps to establish effective leadership, and there will be always supported with motivation and moral development happens. So communication is such a process. We talk as a we are always in the shoe of a sender or a receiver. So it will help in smooth working of the organization when there is proper and systematic communication. It actually promotes cooperation and peace among the organization. It develops the sense of coordination and cooperation, and it supports right decision making. Whatever thing happens, when it is being communicated properly to the manager or the responsible person, and he will have all the possibility to take decision rightly, and his ultimate goal will be towards reaching the goal of the organization. So it is promoting actually increasing the managerial efficiency together. In that aspect, why this managerial communication is important is any organization needs exchange of ideas among the employees within the organization to improvise themselves, and their sharing of ideas will exactly contribute to the growth of the organization. So the targets will be achieved in right time. The difficulties will be shared at time to time. And the different thinking or critical thinking, whenever is necessary, is being stimulated. And it always stops the duplication of the work. And the team members and the team leader will have the right communication, and they will be able to understand the core focus of the organization and move towards it. So all the crucial situations can be well handled when there is effective communication. So it is unimaginable without communication, any organization cannot be successful. Communication is the backbone of any successful organization. Thank you. Thank you all for listening.